Stoicism is a philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, but its teachings remain relevant in modern life. The Stoics believed in living a virtuous life, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot control. Here are 10 Stoic quotes and their meaning in modern life. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. This quote reminds us that our fears and anxieties are often irrational, and that we should not let them control our lives. Instead, we should learn to differentiate between real and imagined to focus on what truly matters. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, Marcus Aurelius, instead of seeking revenge on those who wronged us. This quote encourages us to rise above the situation and act with integrity. We should not let others bring us down to their level, but strive to be better than our adversaries. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. This quote reminds us to live in the present moment and make the most of our time on earth. We should not let our lives pass us by without making meaningful connections and contributions to the world. Happiness and freedom. Begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control and some things are not. Epictetus. This quote encourages us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot, freeing ourselves from unnecessary stress and worry. We should not waste our time and energy trying to change things beyond our control, but instead, focus on the things we can influence. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. This quote reminds us that our thoughts shape our reality and that we should strive to cultivate. When you're in a state of anger, it's hard to say the right thing or do the right thing. Reacting in such a way leaves you open to making things worse. If someone else is angry, it's usually not a good idea to make things worse, and instead diffuse the situation by being calm. Harder said than done, but an important point nonetheless. There are things within our control, and then there are many things outside of our control. The more we value the things we cannot influence, the less control we have over our emotions, and instead we become helplessly envious, depressed, and anxious. This is not helpful in any way. Focus on what you can control. Another important Marcus Aurelius quotes on life that speaks for itself. In the same way you are what you eat, you also become the thoughts that you think. It's a powerful quote that I believe to be unquestionably true. If you think negative thoughts for long enough, it's hard to escape them. If you think positively and progressively, you can change your life for the better over time. You feel lighter at your core, and you begin to see opportunities. Life was especially short, not to mention brutal, for Roman emperors, and Marcus knew the value of the present moment well. He understood you could be gone in an instant and lived a life of appreciating each moment whilst trying to make the most of it. Be thoughtful and mindful of the present moment, because it is all you really have. Perhaps you have been wounded by a friend or a romantic relationship that ended. Naturally, we tend to see these situations as negative and often traumatic. However, Marcus believes that with every injury there is an opportunity. Whilst you may be hurting, what good can come from your situation? You may not be able to see it now, but there's usually good that comes from everything. Every day there is a big news story, but within a week, everyone has forgotten about it before they are on to the next one. Time covers everything. What people care about today is ancient history tomorrow. How many lives have been lived? How many people have been forgotten to time? You should live your life for the present because, again, it's all you have. You will one day become lost in time like the millions before you. He who follows reason in all things is both tranquil and active at the same time, and also cheerful and collected. If you follow reason, not opinion or emotion, you're likely to live a more balanced life, and therefore make better decisions in day-to-day life. A rock is thrown in the air. It loses nothing by coming down, gained nothing by going up. No matter what your status in life is, you are still you. It's why many people are left feeling depressed once they get rich and famous, because they're no happier. They are still the same person with the same problems, but with more money and with more eyeballs on them. You are you. All that matters is how you conduct yourself. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This is probably one of the best Marcus Aurelius quotes on life. It's short and sweet, but it sums up most of the Stoic ideas in a simple way. You cannot control the way others behave or. This is an incredibly important thing to remember, and once fully understood can change your life. Don't be overheard complaining, even to yourself. Complaining, whilst not attractive, also never makes a situation complaining. You feel worse when you do it, and it also depresses those who listen to you. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. Marcus believes that everything that happens in life happens for you, not to you. I think he's trying to say that you should be surprised by nothing, for anything is possible in a life that is so complicated with so many variables all working at the same time. Everything has come from nature, and you yourself are nature. You're subject to sorrow, fear, jealousy, anger, and inconsistency. That's the real reason you should admit that you are not wise. The Stoics believed that the only thing they knew was that they knew nothing, as made famous by Seneca. I believe that Marcus Aurelius was talking about arrogance and not getting too big for your shoes, because it is impossible to know everything. Even when you feel you know everything about a certain thing, something new often appears that you must learn even more. Much of the time we are led, or at least influenced heavily by our primal animalistic emotions that we can never truly escape. Instead, we have to be disciplined with ourselves so we can tame them. Almost nothing material is needed for a happy life, for he who has understood existence. This Marcus Aurelius quote on life sums up the idea that nothing material you obtain will truly bring you happiness, for it's only your understanding and personal philosophy that can only do this. For Stoics like Marcus, it was the understanding that the only thing that can bring you happiness and freedom is controlling how you react to things. Everything else is just happening around you, much of it out of your control. You own nothing: your house, your car, your partner. You do not truly own these things. The only thing you own is your mind and how you conduct yourself. Once you understand this, you can find a sense of freedom and true happiness. For God's sake, stop honoring externals. Quit turning yourself into the tool of mere matter or of people who can supply you or deny you those material things. Much like the last quote on life, Marcus's idea is that you should never allow yourself to become a slave to material things. Furthermore, you shouldn't allow yourself to become a slave to those who can get you the material things you desire. Sure, it's nice to have a new phone, but how easy is it to become addicted to one or even the idea of obtaining one? I'd say very easy these days. It comes back to what you value. Do you want to value having the flashy new thing that will become outdated within 6 months, or do you want to spend your time worshiping the things that truly matter in your life? There's nothing wrong with owning your material things, because people need somewhere to live and often a phone, but they should never own you. A man when Marcus realized that his anxiety was within him, not coming from the external world. It was his own personal emotion, and therefore it was something he could dwell on or let go of. It sounds simple enough, but it really is a choice of yours, no one else. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Often the best advice is the most simple one. If something doesn't seem like a good thing to do, you usually already know it within yourself. If something isn't true, do not spread lies. Doing both does not help yourself or anyone else in any way. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Everyone finds it hard to get out of bed from time to time. The days come and go, things happen, and it's easy to lose focus of what matters to you above all else. Simply paying gratitude to the fact you can breathe, think, and feel can make you feel charged and truly alive. We take these things for granted. After all, we have breathed since we were born, and we have had thoughts and felt things. If you are able-bodied, you have had the chance to run, skip, chase, dance, lift your arms, and hug your loved ones. These are not owed things, they are privileges that are important to reflect on because they can one day be gone. Waste no time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. When you turn on the news, it feels like everyone is arguing about something. How much time do we waste arguing about how we should be living our lives without ever living them? We concern ourselves with subjects that in the end mean nothing. Marcus believes that your actions speak louder than your words. Stop bogging yourself down by discussing what is good and just be good. Just listen to yourself and do not concern yourself with the noise that spews from others.